Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for Wednesday. What is it? December 4th. It is the 4th. Okay. I'm going to use the Starman Tarot this morning. Afternoon. It's afternoon by now, isn't it? All right. If you like these readings, you know what to do. I'm just going to get started. I may also pull from the Wandering Moon just to keep on theme, but King of Swords, Princess of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. Oh, all right. Big breath out. Wish granted. Wish granted. We have arrived. Chariot on the bottom of the deck. For those of us who felt this weekend's energy as particularly chaotic or unsettling, we made it to the other side, I think. King of Swords, that energy, all head, all mental, all mind, all analytical. Princess of Wands is that fiery heart-related energy. Obviously, you've got the extreme of a masculine archetype and the feminine archetype, although not in her complete fruition state, meaning she's not the queen quite yet. And then the Nine of Cups, which is also symbolizes not quite the queen in a way. The nines and tens are kind of right before you reach that transition part of the cycle. So there is a growth yet to have happened. However, Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. So an alchemical process has taken place. We have transcended Chariot, pulled ourselves up and out of a duality or a choice point, and most likely will receive a desired result. The Sun, the Queen of Cups, there she is. We're gonna give her a little coverage. Here, I'm just gonna, it's hard to figure out which stone will do it more appropriately. There we go. Queen of Cups, right on top of the Princess of Cups. It tells me that there is, like I said, an alchemical growth process happening. There should be a lot more steadiness, available, emotionally speaking or energetically speaking now. The Devil is often misunderstood in a lot of ways. It can mean, the Devil can mean indulgence, overindulgence, or the type of experience, physical experience, that could betray the self on some level. But it can also refer to the understanding of the human animal and the integration of that with the Sun, the Queen of Cups, and the Devil. There's an illumination process there as well. Heart-centered, intuitive, and physical. So something very, I want to say real world, but that's never a good way for me to describe anything. So here, let me just move this so it's a little straighter on. There we go. There is something writing itself with this kind of spread. Okay. So there's something here basically saying something was corrected. Something heart-related, a battle between the heart and the mind, between the intuition and the analytical side of the mind has been reconciled. And it directly affects your physical reality. The Eight of Cups, the Three of Cups. Okay, now I'm going to be kind of blatant here. A triangulation has ended. An indecision point has closed. And then the Two of Wands. Courage. Oh, this feels kind of major. I will say, I always get a little angsty when the Eight of Cups shows up, and it's been showing up a lot. So there's this experience here of leaving behind what seemed like a safe place or a comfort place. It's not necessarily something that was comfortable, though, because the Eight of Cups and the Three of Cups, to me, even with the exuberant connotations of celebration and collective movement towards what is fulfilling, there's still this sense of having to leave something behind. So what's being left behind essentially is the aspect of the 3. And it's moving into a 2. So the party is shifting. The connection is shifting. The connection point is shifting to what is fulfilling to you. It's refining. And it's going to take a little courage to take that step forward, I think. But death, transition, these cards, they're so intense. There's so much. Death, and then the King of Pentacles. Exactly. Oh, yes. Okay. The King of Pentacles for me, especially when there's a choice point or an integration point between the heart and the mind, or the intuition and the analytical mind, especially with the sun involved. The King of Pentacles is that culmination point in terms of how it becomes real, how it becomes physical. That King of Pentacles does not withhold. That King of Pentacles shares, expresses, creates, manifests, whatever you want to call it. That Death card tells me the transition is occurring currently. And all we have to do is wait. All in good time. All in good time. Which is nice, because the thing is, with any major transition, especially if you're dealing with something emotional that you would refer to or experience as an alchemical process, meaning turning one state into another, sometimes the results take a minute to become visible. I'm using this deck because of the sensations that I have kind of passed through my physical form over the past 4 days. Everything from grief and sadness to elation. There's been a very wide scope. And to me, whenever that kind of thing happens, it's always kind of this beacon of change. It's a warning, but in a positive sense. I mean it to say that it's a harbinger, maybe, of this moment of growth that's impending. This impending moment of growth and change, and maybe even something sort of like a portal, stepping through to something else. I like the Hanged Man because the energy is about joyous waiting. It's about relaxing into the pause. All right, I'm going to pull from the Wandering Moon to see where that goes from. That Hanged Man energy going into the pause. What does that mean? I've also shuffled and cut there too. Okay, going into the pause, there is a physical location change potentially. So it could show up as a pause before a move, or a pause before a project begins. Something creative, something impassioned. Yeah, going out there to get it. Ace of... All right, there is definitely... someone's on the move. That King of Swords from that original reading is on the move. Ace of Stars, new physical reality, possibly a monetary influx. Three of Wands is no longer waiting for something to come to you, but instead extending yourself out towards it. The Nine of Cups, again, wish fulfillment. The Wanderer, the Hermit. The Page of Stars, the Hermit reconsiders. And this is where the courage might need to come in with that Nine of Swords energy. There's some anxiety involved in this wish, which is interesting because I think, there's anxiety involved in any culmination point, especially if it's something we haven't actually experienced before but have wanted. So if it's something that feels difficult, impossible, or still a little slanted there. All right, hopefully that'll help. If it's something that feels like it's impossible or unable to be obtained, there is a clear signal here that sense of impossibility is actually in your mind. because the King of Cups takes over from there. So the King of Swords transitions into the King of Cups to pull themselves out of the anxiety. 9 of Pentacles into their garden of resources and riches, into their empowerment, to make their decision that they currently feel is a blind decision. Against the heartbreak. Light behind the heartbreak. Queen of Cups. Okay. I will say this. If you are currently in the midst of deciding whether or not to do something that could potentially hurt you or make you feel like you lost or will potentially lose something, I would encourage you to remember where the projections come into play. Are you looking at what you're currently experiencing, or are you afraid of the past recreating itself through you? And if you are afraid of something that happened before and not now, please be very keenly aware of the differences in the situation or the similarities. So if you find yourself questioning whether or not something is safe to proceed with, that is very near and dear to your heart, especially if it has to do with relationships or creativity. This is your chance to make the choice that overturns the heartbreak. This is your chance to make the choice that sees through the pain to the truth, to what you hold closest, to what matters to you the most. But it's eternally, that was not the word I intended on saying. Essentially was the word I was looking for, but it is eternally and essentially always up to you, whether or not you're willing to take that risk. But the risk may be very much worth it, as long as you know that you've paid close attention, as long as you know that you know how you feel when you're in the experience, as opposed to what you think might be happening when you're outside of it. Pay more attention to how you feel and try and integrate that with the analytical mind that's trying to tell you what your risks or what your risk assessment is. Okay. Focus on that 9 of Cups. Focus on that wish fulfillment. Something beautiful is in the works. And we're all going to get the chance to either choose it or sabotage it. So pick the one that you want more. I know everybody would say, I don't want to self-sabotage, but some people are very comfortable in self-sabotage. So it's up to you. As always, let's go one more. 10 of Swords. It's time to stop the self-inflicted wounding. It's time to end the pattern. This is the end of the wound, not the beginning of a new one. So, the Empress. Yeah, choose love, man. Choose love, guys. No matter what that definition is for you. Choose the love. Self-love, love for others, love for your work, whatever it is. You're here to bring something into fruition, not to close it down. Best way to do this is to be as authentic as possible, instead of as protective as possible. You're already protected. As someone told me this morning, I am divinely protected. That's the new mantra. All right. That'll be the title of the video too. I am divinely protected. Thank you to the person who said that to me this morning. Anyway, have a good day. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.